Hi everyone, it's Miss Jamie here. It's nice to meet you. I'm going to be leading you through the visual arts classes for the Furious Flower Creativity Camp 2020. So, welcome. It's nice to meet you all. I'm very excited. This is actually the first lesson in 4 that I'm going to be leading you through. So, this year's theme for the camp is resilience. You're actually going to hear me say this word over and over through all of the lessons. And so I want to get us familiar with the word, starting with the first lesson. Have you ever heard of the word resilience? What does it mean? Well, resilience is our ability to overcome difficult situations in life. And actually, we all have this ability. You're resilient. I'm resilient. Okay? And so we're going to be learning about how to build resilience in each of us. And we're going to do that through the different art projects that we're going to work on. Okay? Today's lesson is going to be about collage and mosaic. And the title of this lesson is To Stick or Not to Stick? That is the question. And so, these are the materials that you're going to need for today's lesson. Feel free to pause the video to get them, but I'm just going to list them for you very quickly. Okay? You're going to need some paper because you have to stick your artwork onto it. Some scissors, some glue, some colored paper, the handout that was included in your packet, and some old magazines and newspaper. Feel free to pause the video if you need to get any of these materials, and I promise I'll still be here when you get back. Okay, so let's take a look at the handout that was included in your packet. And there are 2 images on this handout. One is of a fish, and the other is of a boat. The first one on top is called a collage. The one on the bottom is called a mosaic. And so I want you to actually label your pictures. Collage is spelled C-O-L-L-A-G-E. Looks like college, but it has the A in there instead of an E. Okay, collage. And the one on the bottom is called a mosaic. M-O-S-A-I-C. Mosaic. I want us to take a look at these 2 pictures. What is a collage? This is a picture of a fish, but how did they actually make that fish? They made that fish by cutting up other pictures, and they glued them all together to make a new picture. So a collage is basically a picture made of pictures, okay? And then the one on the bottom, they also made a picture, but it's a little bit different than the one on the top. A mosaic is a picture that is made out of shapes and patterns. You see, this one has mostly boxes and squares, right? And so they were repeating that pattern in order to make a picture of a boat. So take a look at both of these, the collage and the mosaic. You can notice that there are some similarities, and there are also some differences in the 2. And today we're actually going to work on both, and I'll show you how to make each of these. It's actually not that difficult. So let's begin with making our collage. You're going to need a piece of paper that you're going to glue all of your pictures on, and the newspapers and magazines. And I want you to go through your newspaper and just look for pictures that remind you of things that remind you of resilience. Okay? It can be a color that you're looking at. It can be maybe someone's picture and that person's story is a story of where they overcame something that was difficult. Okay? It can be anything. Just look through the magazine and cut out anything that you see that reminds you of resilience. Okay? And your magazine as well. Okay? And you know something? As you choose your pictures, you can decide, okay, this is going to be a part of my collage. Or maybe you might see something and you say, that's not going to be a part of my collage. Okay? You may not have much of a choice about maybe which newspaper you're looking through or what was printed that day. But you do have a choice as to what's going to be a part of your collage. And in the same way, that's how resilience is. Resilience is actually a choice. You can choose whether you're going to be resilient, or you can choose whether you're not going to be resilient. It's your choice. You can say, today I choose to be resilient, and I choose to get through this difficult situation. I may not have chosen the difficult situation, but I choose to get through it. And it's the same way with choosing these images. I may not have chosen to print this picture of this man on the cover, but I have chosen this picture to be a part of my art, to be a part of my story. And so as you cut out pictures, I want you to keep that in mind. Resilience is a choice. You can choose to be resilient, or you can choose not to be. And I hope and I encourage you to choose resilience. It's the better option. So you'll cut through all of the pictures that you think remind you of resilience. And as you cut them, you can glue them onto your paper. You can also cut out letters and spell out something. Take a look at this picture that I made. Oh, dropped the piece, but I spelled out the word resilience. Okay. And I chose an elephant because elephants are really strong. And I chose a pair of jeans because jeans are a material that you can play with in them, you can get them dirty, and then they're very resilient. You can wash them and you can use them again and again and again. It's a very tough fabric. And so you just want to use your glue and stick it on to that paper until you get something that you're happy with. And that's how it is when you're resilient. You can choose what sticks. You can say, that's a positive situation that I'm going to have in my life, and I'm going to make that a part of my story. When I choose to be resilient, I choose to keep that positive experience and to overcome that negative experience. I choose to cut that negative experience out of my life and focus and let the positive stick. Okay? Let's move on to the next project. And that one is the collage. Sorry, no. That one is the mosaic. All right? And so for that project, we want to look at this mosaic picture. Remember, it's mostly a pattern. Okay? And so for the mosaic, you're going to need some strips of paper. All right? And what we want to do is we want to actually cut out a pattern. So how do you do that? You take a strip of paper, okay? And the easiest way to get a pattern is as you cut it, right? You want to cut out the same shape over and over again. So if I want to get triangles out of this strip of paper, I can just cut this paper like this in diagonals along the strip, and it'll give me lots and lots of triangles. Okay? See all my triangles? Okay. These triangles, I'm going to take them and I'm going to stick them onto another paper using some glue. Okay, I've already started gluing some triangles onto this paper, so I'll just keep on going. And what you want to do with your mosaic is you want to make sure that you can see the different shapes repeating over and over without having them overlap. Okay? With the collage, the pieces of paper can overlap each other. But with the mosaic, you don't want them to overlap. So you leave a space in between each shape that's repeating. Okay? So take a look at how I'm starting this one. The triangles are on there, but they're actually not overlapping each other. Okay? And you just continue until you get something that you really like. Anything is fine, really. And you want to know what? As I stick these patterns on, I'm realizing that resilience is also a pattern. It's a choice that you make over and over again. Just like the triangles on my page are repeating over and over again, you can choose to be resilient over and over again until that pattern becomes like a habit in your life. Isn't that pretty interesting? Resilience is not only a choice, but it's also a pattern that can repeat itself over and over again until we master it, until we become resilient. And maybe the first time you're resilient might be a little bit difficult. Like, okay, I'm not too sure how to get through this. But as you go through tough situations and another tough situation and another tough situation, and you say, I'm going to be resilient. I'm going to be resilient again. I'm going to be resilient again. You actually get better and better at it. And it becomes like second nature. What do you think? And so, after you stick all of your pieces, you will get something that kind of looks like this. Or maybe you chose to work with a different shape, like a rectangle or squares. Okay? But a mosaic will look more like this. Usually people make a mosaic out of tiles or stones, but you can even make one with paper like we did today. Okay? And so we've got collage, and we've also got mosaic. Two different ways of cutting up papers, of making choices as to how we're going to stick them out or lay them out on paper. Just like being resilient. Resilience is a choice that we make. And we choose if we're going to be resilient over and over again in life. Okay? And so, there are a lot of things that you can't choose. Like, for example, you can't choose what's in your magazine or what colors they decided to put in the magazine that day or in the newspaper, what stories they decided to print. There are some things you just don't have a choice in life about. I mean, like, you can't choose your skin color. You can't choose what family you were born in. But there are some things that you have a choice about, right? And you can choose, okay, I can make a choice about what I'm going to wear today. Or I can make a choice about who's going to be my friend or who's not going to be my friend. I can make a choice about what I'm going to eat today or what I'm going to feed my body. And so, just like you chose things that reminded you of resilience, you can choose to be resilient, or you can also choose not to be. And I hope you choose to be resilient. Okay? And so, I think that's the end of today's lesson, right? We've got a mosaic, and we've also got a collage. Please take a picture of your work, and you'll have a chance to share it at the end of the week. We'll be having a celebration, and I really look forward to seeing what you came up with. And one more thing, I want you to answer this question. Write it down even so that you can share it with us at the end of the week at our open mic. And I want you to answer this question. In what ways are you resilient? In what ways are you resilient? Write it down. I'd love to hear your responses. Thanks for being a part of today's lesson. I look forward to meeting you all, and have a great day. And remember, bloom on. Bye.